The woman was shocked to find that the breakfast her husband had for breakfast was Australian lobster and king crab. But just now the husband was still driving a broken tractor. At that time, 6 of his sisters laughed at him. It's just because they are married in a city with a big head and a big face. And the woman married a poor boy. Everyone speculates that he's destined to suffer in his life. But the woman didn't care at all. I've never regretted my choice. I don't know from this moment. The fate of the 7 sisters has changed from day to day. On the way back to the woman's house, the tractor suddenly broke down on the side of the road. But at this time, there was still a 5-kilometer journey to leave the house. The woman knew the consequences, but did not complain. Instead, she comforted her husband and said she could walk back. It's just because she thought the couple had to share the burden. After an hour, they finally got home. I didn't want to see the sick big brother and the silly second brother as soon as I got in. There are also the poor mother-in-law and the sick uncle. This scene in front of the eyes makes the girl just stand there. The mother-in-law is so guilty that she confesses that the conditions in the house are too poor for her. The woman was wronged and followed them. Men are afraid that women will be scared by this. She was flustered and wanted to explain. But she was stopped directly by the woman. There was nothing wrong with her eyes. Instead, she felt that it was not easy for her husband to start this family alone. I feel sorry for her to carry the heavy burden alone. The woman's sincere expression. Although the yard looked small, but it was taken care of. The things were also placed in a neat and orderly manner. She believed that as long as the whole family worked together, the days will get better sooner or later. The whole family was very moved to hear this. The mother-in-law put the house key in her hand. After the official announcement, the size of the house and the property belonged to her. You? The woman looked at the key in her hand and thought that the conditions in the house had been so difficult. They were relieved to leave the remaining savings to themselves. It seems that they really treat themselves as a family. But how could she have thought of this ordinary key? In fact, it is the family passport that controls the top wealth. It turned out that the mother-in-law's character was to test her daughter-in-law. She deliberately disguised herself as a poor person in the countryside. Even the dowry only gave 2 bags of rice. But at this time the man was already planning to find a chance to confess the truth to the woman. He couldn't bear to let such a kind wife be tricked. I didn't think about it the next morning. The girl found that the table was full of Australian lobsters and king crabs. The woman was confused by this scene. Hurry up and persuade the mother-in-law not to waste money like this. Afraid that the family, who was exposed to the matter, would be too busy to explain. These are all warm neighbors. At night, the man's assistant sent a financial report for the latest quarter of the group and mentioned a profit of hundreds of billions. As a result, the woman who happened to be walked overheard a sign. But the mother-in-law responded very quickly. Explained that the assistant is a worker in the village to appease the poor. The documents in hand are also just firewood. The woman's heart is a little suspicious. But I didn't think too much. Then I told a few people that the house didn't need to be saved. He plans to go to the city to find a job to make money. Improve life with his own hands. The whole family was moved and heartbroken after hearing it. I don't want to let him go out to suffer. So when the woman was sending flyers on the street, the man secretly arranged a large group of people to line up to get rid of all the flyers in his hand. Later, the woman went to the jewelry store again. The man went straight to the hand. Let the subordinates buy all the goods in the women's counter. The woman who was blinded by this scene. Although I feel confused. But I thought the customers here were very enthusiastic. After returning home, the woman gave all the money she earned to the family. I was planning to save money for the old house. The mother-in-law looked more and more convinced in her eyes that the son-in-law had picked the wrong one. When the woman fell asleep. When did the family start discussing who was the most suitable? The man was always a little hesitant. He was afraid that the woman would be angry after being deceived. At this time, the assistant suggested that he could go to the auction tomorrow. Buy a top-class jewelry for the woman to apologize. Take the opportunity to explain the true situation of the house. To get his understanding. Now, I didn't expect the woman to go to the auction early. Be a waiter. I also happened to meet my sister and sister. My sister started to show off that her husband was rich as soon as she showed up. Yang wants to live in the president's suite to experience. But the woman is not convinced. Only because he knows that the other person's house. Early. I can't go in and out. I owe a lot of money outside. It's all eye catching fat. I guess this is his sister. I don't know yet. The woman deliberately followed her sister's bragging words. A few words of perfunctory. Who will be the next brother-in-law? I'll just hit my sister. It turned out that my brother-in-law had booked a special room for 30 yuan next door. Unknowingly, my sister was embarrassed for a moment. Just at this time, the first father of Hai Cheng, the prince of Jiang's family, appeared in the hotel. The whole scene was in a hurry. Everyone tried their best to squeeze forward. The woman who was squeezed behind the crowd never found out. The one who was chased by the crowd was his husband. The sister-in-law and the couple ran here. I just want to have a relationship with him. I kept begging for a chance to work with him. After the man found out the identity of the two, I arranged for my men to take them to the venue. He also said that he would give them the pictures they liked in the name of his wife. The two of them were so happy when they heard it. I feel like I'm in the Jiang family. The Jiu family will be able to turn around soon. But after entering the venue, my sister and brother-in-law looked at the woman very displeased. It's just a sigh of disappointment for him. Women are the same parents and sisters. The sisters are married in a grand way. He's the only one who married a big old man in the countryside. Now I have to come and bring tea to others. Marry that useless Xia Deng. I don't have a shame like him. The woman hurriedly refuted the fact that her husband earned money with both hands. Where did you go to raise a family? On the contrary, the sister is full of dirty talk. Is it very high? Sister Wen Yang was angry at the moment. The fire was 3. She raised her hand and slapped the woman on the ground. This scene was just seen by the assistant who came. He quickly called the Jiang family. A few people who received the news. My legs and my waist don't hurt. Immediately hurried to the banquet scene to support the woman. But the woman is not easy to mess with. She returned it back on the spot. The elder sister completely blew her hair. She said she was a good daughter-in-law. Arrogantly called the security guard to hide her sister. The key to the control room in the car was accidentally dropped on the ground. The elder sister was so disappointed that she picked it up. Unwittingly in that mockery, the woman took the key to the old house in the countryside. The woman recalled that her mother-in-law told her, "This is the house's control key." So he immediately apologized to the elder sister. "Because this key is really important to him, I beg you to give it back to yourself." But even if the woman has been begging the other party to return the thing, the elder sister still didn't spare. Just throw the key on the ground like a trash can. Let the